I have a simple 4-step plan that Mr. Beast can follow to completely heal his Crohn's disease, and it can also work for you as well. I'm a lot like Mr. Beast. We both have obsessive personalities, and I just obsessed about Crohn's disease for the past 10 years until I figured it out. So I want to share with you this 4-step plan, which actually addresses the root cause of Crohn's disease, so you never have to deal with these nasty symptoms again and don't have to wear a bag of poop for the rest of your life. Hi, my name is Mike, the Heal Your Gut Guy. I used to suffer from really nasty Crohn's disease and a bunch of other fun gut health issues, and I've helped many other people get better from them, and it's all about addressing the root cause of the problem. Mr. Beast, if you are watching this, please email me at mike@healyourgutguy.com. I would love to talk to you and help you through your digestive issues. So just recently, Mr. Beast did a podcast with Joe Rogan, and he said that his Crohn's disease started at the age of 15. So the first step of healing Crohn's disease is identifying the stress in your life that was present when these symptoms first started to appear. Now, I haven't talked to Mr. Beast. I don't know what exactly this stress could be, but he said at this age, he started YouTube when he was 13 and he was obsessed about it. It was all he did. He felt like a social outcast. Maybe that has something to do with it. But the type of stress for Crohn's disease is indigestible anger. You can't figure that. I can't figure out how to be a good baseball player, and I'm angry about it. I can't figure out how to get 1 million views on YouTube, and I'm angry about it. For me, it was I'm super skinny, and I can't figure out how to gain weight, and I'm angry about it. None of the cute girls at school like me, and I don't know what to do to be cool, and I'm angry about it. I don't know how to get to the next level in the video game that I'm playing, and I'm angry about it. My parents won't let me. It's indigestible anger. And so when he was 15, something happened where he had this indigestible anger in his life. And so when we have this indigestible anger, our body, it's a stress, it's a threat to our survival, and it puts an organ into overdrive to enhance its function. So the function of the small intestines is to digest and absorb things. And so during this indigestible anger, the body is building extra gut cells to help you digest and absorb this hard to digest thing in your life. Oh, why that doesn't make any sense. Hey, just like tease your dog, if I just say food to my family pet, food, they start salivating. They know it's dinner time. You say dinner, or you say lunch, and they start salivating, and there's not even food present. Pavlov's dogs. You even do this. If I show you a picture of a lemon, you'll start salivating, or your favorite foods. So what's going on here? It's the brain is fully connected with your whole body, on a subconscious level. Maybe not on the conscious level, but on the subconscious level, it's fully connected. And these I don't have extra gut cells. If you look at your lab reports and stuff like this, you're going to see thickening of the small intestinal wall. You'll see polyps and abnormalities like there's things going on there. It's not just inflammation. It's inflamed, and there's extra gut cells at play here. So when maybe Mr. Beast quits baseball, or maybe when Mr. Beast first gets his million view video, that's a resolution of the conflict. Oh, all right, I won the World Series. Now I'm the best baseball player ever, and I'm not indigestible anger on how to be the best baseball player ever. Okay, we don't need these extra gut cells anymore, and the body starts to get rid of them. So imagine, like on your arm, you're building up these extra gut muscles or gut cells to help you digest this thing, and now it has to get rid of it. And it does that through the process of inflammation. That's where this theory of the immune system is attacking itself. The body is attacking itself. It's not attacking itself. It's removing these extra gut cells it no longer needs. And I've actually seen very similar scenarios to this based around sports. And these, so I have two stories to share with you. And we're still on step one, identifying the stress. It's very important that we identify the stress that caused these digestive issues. So I had one student, he was obsessed with football. He's obsessed, he has a very obsessive personality. He's obsessed about business. He's obsessed with whatever he's doing. And if he's watching this, I know I love you, and I'm obsessed too. This is just how we are. We're obsessive. We're engineers. We want to understand how the world works. And so essentially, he was a football player in high school. He wanted to be really good at football. And it was like senior year of his high school career, and he was about to get drafted into like a nice football college or something like that. And he breaks his arm like the second game of the season. And his football career is over. Like, it was like a really bad break. It shattered. His football career was gone, done. And he just didn't know what to do with his life. And so when he was conflict active, I don't know what to do. What am I going to do next? The body's building extra gut cells to help him digest and absorb this hard to digest, ugly thing in his life. Oh, I don't know what to do with my life. And then he found a new career path. He was going to be a businessman and yada, yada, yada. That's when the diarrhea started. That's when the blood and the mucus in the stool started showing up. That's when the gut pain started, because the body started to remove these extra gut cells that we no longer need. Another person that I know, their digestive issues started because they were obsessed about football. Their whole life, they lived in Texas. They're just, your life revolves around football and cattle, I guess, if you live in Texas. And so their team was undefeated, and it was like the last game of the season or something like that, and he had the football and he fumbled it, and the other team picked it up and scored, and they lost, and there went their undefeated season. That's when this devastated him. He let his team down, he let himself down. It hurt his chances into getting into a good football college. And, soon after he went into like a football college, and his whole life revolved around football. And his symptoms started when his coach sat down with him and he said, "Hey, you're actually turning into a good football player." And that meant a lot to him, because like his whole identity was like, I want to be a football player. And and then the body said, okay, we don't need to digest being a good football player anymore. And the body started to get rid of these extra gut cells. Now, when these conditions, identifying the stress is the first part. And so the second part is understanding your symptoms and coming to peace with them. And the only way to do that, because it's impossible to remain calm when you have blood and mucus flying out of your butt and you're losing a lot of weight, if you don't understand what's going on. If you don't understand that this is a natural process, and it'll be over in a couple of weeks if we just remain calm and support the body, and we fully resolve the stress. So for someone like Mr. Beast, the conflict, hey, I want to be the best YouTuber and I don't know what to do to be the best YouTuber and I'm angry about it. One could argue that he's the best YouTuber, or maybe PewDiePie is, or T-Series or something like that, whatever. But let's say it gets initially resolved when he gets his first 1 million view video. But now he's like chasing excellence. So it's like, okay, how do I get 2 million views? How do I get, it's like, how do I reach these goals? I don't know how to reach these future goals, and I'm angry about it. And you're like working, it's how the goal is framed, or at least seen by the person. So for an example, this is just a scenario that I could see happening for him, is let's say he has like a very difficult video to film. His videos are insane, like the production value and all the work and effort that goes into it. So you can only imagine spending, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million on a video, and then the amount of stress that someone could be under when they upload it, and it's a dud. So when Mr. Beast starts a video that can make him conflict active. All right, I'm stressed out about this video. It needs to be a winner because we're spending a lot of money on it. And then it gets released, or the production gets done. That could be a resolution. And then when it gets released and it does well, and then that could be a resolution. So it's getting rid of these extra gut cells. So the one thing he wants to look for is what makes him angry. And the third step is we need to stop blaming foods. I understand that certain foods are causing you symptoms right now. They are causing you symptoms, but it's not the food itself, it's your perception of the food. So let's say Mr. Beast releases one of these YouTube videos and it's done and it does well, and he celebrates by watching the video with his friends with popcorn. And so he just so happened to have popcorn on that day that the conflict was resolved. But now he blames popcorn. And now his psyche his brain sees popcorn as hard to digest. Where he's had popcorn his whole entire life and has been absolutely fine, now the psyche sees popcorn as dangerous, as hard to digest, and it triggers that process of cell proliferation and the cell loss. And the more obsessive we get about foods and diets, the more reactive we can become to these foods. It's all about the emotional response to the foods and the emotional triggers in our life. And then the last step is 4 is coming to peace with these emotional triggers. And we have to identify those first. So that's the first step, is identify the stress. Because when we don't understand what's going on behind the scenes, when we're like blaming our immune system and all this on blaming foods, we become blind to the stress in our life that is causing these symptoms. So one thing for Mr. Beast that I would ask him is, notice how his coworkers and his colleagues experience making a video versus him. We're kind of looking for indigestible anger, but when you get a flare, or when you feel fatigued, fatigued was a symptom that he was complaining about, is the fatigue is a natural symptom. The body wants you to rest. You're in the healing phase. It's getting rid of these extra gut cells. It needs energy to get rid of these extra gut cells. So it's going to make you physically feel fatigued, so you're not running around making the healing process difficult. So if Mr. Beast is watching this, you probably have lots of questions. And I was on a very similar path as him. I took Remicade. I quit Remicade. I eat whatever I want. And when I understood that stress was the root cause, I literally I weighed 150, 160 pounds my whole life. Couldn't gain any more weight than that. Now I weigh almost 200 pounds. And, I don't eat, I eat whatever I want. I don't eat a lot of food. I work out a little bit. But it's very low maintenance. I'm like a normal person. I don't got to worry about this stuff anymore. And I want to help you do that. So if you want to get a hold of me, Mr. Beast, shoot me an email at mike@healyourgutguy.com. I'll also try to reach out to you on your channels as well. But I've helped so many people. I've had people 3 days away from getting surgery, and they have no symptoms. They eat whatever they want. I had one student who gained 20 pounds in a week or 2 weeks or something like that, and he eats whatever he wants. And this is after trying all sorts of crazy diets, all sorts of crazy drugs. Once you understand the root cause, it's so easy to get better because you just address the root cause. From a YouTube standpoint, it's just like you could have the best video in the world, the absolute most entertaining, best video in the world, but no one is going to click on it if you don't have a good title and thumbnail. So we have to be logical about how we're addressing the problem, and what we're taught about Crohn's disease in the modern medical community is just completely wrong, and it makes it very difficult to to make intelligent decisions. But this new way of thinking is called German New Medicine. And Dr. Hammer, the founder of it, he discovered what was causing. If someone had Crohn's disease, he could look at their brain scan and just be like, oh, this person probably has Crohn's digestive issues. Oh, this person? Oh, okay, the ring is over here in their brain? Okay, well, yeah, they probably have colitis. Oh, they probably have stomach issues because the ring's all over here on their CT scan. 100% of the time. And we need to identify the stress, understand our symptoms, stop blaming foods, and then come to peace with our stress triggers. And there's lots of different ways to do that. But if we start heading in this, I've seen people just stop blaming foods and find the stress, and literally stop blaming foods will cut symptoms in half for a lot of people. And then identifying that stress and just becoming aware of it, because Mr. Beast already has a pretty good attitude. Like he's a pretty positive and uplifting person. So I think for him, he has very strong will. So I think for him, it'd be really easy to make these changes in the way that he experiences the world. So if you want my 30-day program to get better, just click here, and it takes you to the PDF, and it takes you to a 1-hour long video on how to use it. I'm Mike the Heal Your Gut Guy, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.